the city streets, we began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pulls down from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, every shot from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. In the morning, as the afternoon, we lay awake in bed. We laugh so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, never shut from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. Moonlights, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay young forever, we'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, never shut from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. Our hearts beat to the city streets, we began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Helle. Good morning, Stash. Wonderful to see you. Good afternoon to some people, and good evening or good night, probably. It just sounds so odd to say good night when people are actually still awake and not going to sleep. But hello, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is 9 minutes past 9 in the morning here in the Netherlands, and I know that you guys still wanted me to do the morning stream, so here I am. Unsure if that's gonna go on continuously from here. We will have to see. We will have to see. It has to be kinda also something that makes sense time-wise with everything else that's going on. But today it's possible. Though I was even almost late for something I had planned later, simply because somebody slept over, not me. Doesn't happen often. Yeah. Today, of course, as always, it is morning time. It's tea, and I have my raspberry tea. So this is just like a tea sachet with lovely raspberry fruits. Um, Nothing fancy. A little bit of a sweet comfort tea. And this morning, weather is gray. It is rainy. It's autumn. Autumn has arrived. And what I thought I wanted to do today was actually to whip up. I'm not sure if I'll reach it during the stream because I tend to overestimate what I can reach to do. And I guess I'm not the only one, by the way, on that account. Um, and what I wanted to do is this is a beanie that I made last year. Just a plain beanie, nothing really fancy about it. It's just double crochets all the way around. I didn't even make like a ripped brim, which I could easily have done. Not sure why I didn't do that actually, but it's still among some of the first beanies I've ever made, so fair enough, I guess. Um, and I still have left over from that yarn, which is here caked up. It was still in a skein last week when I showed it. Now I actually caked it up. There is about 1/3 left compared to what I used on the beanie, so there should be more than enough for a headband. So I thought to the morning I wanted to make a headband from this because then it's gone unused and it's no longer in my stash. So it's also, I guess, a little bit of a way to try to stash bust some of all my yarns, especially those that I've already have used. So I was supposed to have prepared a lot more than I actually have done. I do totally admit that I could be better prepared this morning, um, but that's not what life wanted. So I'm just finding the pattern. I linked to the pattern I want to use for it in the description box down below. It is a pattern by a Danish designer called Tina Sommer Hansen. It's called Havskum. It is originally made in the Hobby Universe XL yarns. Looking at this yarns, the specs come over really, really close. The only difference is I wanted to use a 5mm crochet hook and the pattern uses a 4. So I will have to check after the first few rows if it's too wide or what's gonna go on. And for that, I need my measuring tape. So I need to find out where I put my measuring tape. So give me one moment. It should be over here somewhere. Yes. As you all know, I have this nice little bag pouch where I have all my tools in, including my measuring tape and a pair of scissors, should I need that. For some reason, my stitch markers are never in that, even though they should be when I'm not using them. And I think it would be nice just to have a stitch marker ready to go, because I might need one if we are going to break on this. So finding up the pattern here, they do say, and that's the interesting part. So it says that we use a bit more, but they also use a smaller crochet hook size. We will have to see how far we get, because there are different sizes. It's like small, medium, and large. And honestly, I'm just gonna go all the way to the end and then hope it's big enough for at least a small. That's kind of the plan. At least, well, that's also the thing. It's different yarn, but I'm expecting there should be enough. Fundamentally seen, there should be. It is alternating front post double crochets and back post double crochets. And then we're going to make a knot on the very front of it. So it says here, chain 3 to turn each row that replaces one double crochet. Here that I want, probably myself want to make a stacked double crochet. I think that's nicer. Then we have a chain 25, work one double crochet in the 4th from the hook and work to the end of the row, which is 23. So let's see how it looks if we chain 25. That's the first thing. So basically 5mm crochet hook, yarn, and then hope we have enough to actually finish this. And if we do, that will be really nice, because that just makes so much sense if a project can be finished and everything just adds to a higher purpose. Like, so that's the raw thinking of this. So basically I start really boring by chaining 25, so we're gonna do that. 1 2, 3, see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So if I counted correctly, I have a chain here of 25. What are you guys up to today? So one thing is that I'm starting here on a headband that I hope actually to finish on this live stream. If I do practically seen, it will have to show. Let's see. Work one. So that's what I did. I chained 25. Work one double crochet in the fourth stitch from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and that would be the fourth. And then I need to work double crochets all the way to the end of the row. I can do that. That should be simple enough, right? So what I do when I make projects, and it's like, you know, doing double crochets or single crochets for that matter in a foundation row of chains, is that I prefer to, let's see if I can explain this nicely. But I prefer to enter the stitches here in the back loops of the chain because I think it makes a nicer edging. I'm not really sure why I do it here because in the very end, those two edges are going to be folded together and knotted together and sewn together and like hidden in behind. But I still do it, I guess, out of habit, just because I think it looks nicer and gives this nicer edge. And it might even give a nicer edge for when I'm sewing them together. So it could just be me being average, crazy me. And I'm the type, I suffer a bit from OCD in the sense of I want things to be perfect. But that's in so many aspects. Like if it can be better and it can be perfect, why not perfectionate it? And that's also why, in many aspects, if I feel you can see the mistake on a project, I will frog it, even though it could actually be left in. Because I think it looks nicer when it's perfect, which is a kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's just a me thing, I guess. Everything to obtain the perfect. I don't know if it's just me or if it's normal. So I know that the Amish, this is, I guess, not that I believe in God, but I do like the saying of, but only God is perfect. So therefore, it's okay to have mistakes in your projects because it shows you're human. That's kind of cute, though. Should I have put this on a yarn spin? No, it works up nicely like this. I'm just pulling off the cake slowly, but it's not like a big cake, and it goes off pretty easily off the cake. Almost through this first row of just double crochets in this foundation chain. Probably have like 10 stitches left. Is my quick assessment here. We do have a few lurkers. If you want to say hello, please say hello. I will be more than happy to say hello back if I know who you are. And don't forget to leave your DNA by leaving a like here on the video. That really do help me, and I really appreciate it if you would like it. And yeah, as said, else we're just gonna be streaming a bit today. I don't actually have a set time that I need to leave. Hey, usually I do that in the morning. And the yarn that I'm using is actually the same yarn that I have in the thumbnail for this morning live. Another interesting thing. So yeah, right now we are just going through and doing the double crochets in this foundation. I know it's gonna look different from the beanie that I made because it's how can I say best? The beanies worked in the round and this is worked back and forth. We also have a different stitch count, so I am expecting the colors of this yarn to work up differently. And we are using front post, back post up crochets, which also will make a change in it. So yeah. So what are you doing right now? Are you just hanging out with me? Or are you actually working on a project yourself? Because, you know, it would be kind of like if you guys are working on something, it's kind of nice, I guess, because then we would like talk with one another and be like if we met at the local crafting meeting fair. Um, that would make sense, I guess. Let's see, I'm missing just the last stitch here. I just need to get so the hook through and finish the double crochet. Yay. So Hella says here she finished the first sock yesterday during my live, and today she has started on the second sock of the one she started when she was on Bornholm this summer. So this is basically how it looks. This is going to be a wide headband. Not on logic because I am using more yarns, but very important, it has to be able to kind of cover, and it does wrinkle up a bit because we are going to do the double crochets, but I'm just wondering if I have a few stitches too many. We will have to see. Let me count for a moment because I should have 23 according to the pattern. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. How did I manage to do that? Or did I count wrong? Give me one more moment. It wouldn't be surprising me if that's the case either. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. I stick at 22. I made a mistake. And I barely started. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're very welcome. Happy to translate. Happy to translate. Obviously, I can't do that with all languages, but I do speak a few languages. So Hella writes in Danish. Danish is my native language. I should probably be able to translate some from Dutch and German as well, because that are languages I speak pretty well. So my thinking right now is when I look at this, and I know I need an unaligned number, and we have 22 here, maybe I should just forget I made 21. I must have counted wrong when I did the change. Can't be something else here. So let me frog all my double crochets because I have nothing else to do, I guess. I counted wrong somewhere. So basically, pull one is done. Let me recount just a moment. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, not 15, 16, 18, 20, 21. So I need to skip that because as I won't be 21, then it would be 22 again. see. Just trying once more. Good morning, SL Smith. Um, if you're catching me live, it means you should have gone to bed a long time ago. Yeah, that is probably true. Um, that said, I am not the one to judge you. And we all tend to just subconsciously stay a little bit up longer than we should. I have unconsciously also some nights. I'm still trying to go to bed on time, but still, technically I'm on vacation right now, and I still don't know what I'm gonna do after vacation. Um, so I'm sort of just unemployed, enjoying that I have no duties. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. I think that should be good. I should be good now. I fixed my mess. It just takes a bit longer until we're done. How embarrassing is that? I must have counted wrong when I did the chain. Can't be something else. Even though I had the feeling that we were counting together. So how can I have skipped a stitch? um, so yeah, so what's up? I have a friend who has an idea for a job for me, and he told me that he will see his boss at an event in a few weeks' time. So he will drop his note there. Then I have the unemployment agency, because I do have rights on unemployment pay because I got let go from my company. Um, but first, I have I have vacation all the month of October basically. I had enough vacation gathered up, plus some extra agreements I made when we were when I was parting from the company, because I had a permanent contract. They can't just fire me unless it's really my own fault, and it's not. So I had to agree with them to let me go, which means that they had to basically form a contract with me, and we had to negotiate a few things. And I negotiated some extra days off, basically, where I was like not having to do anything, which I'm really happy I did because honestly, the last 4 months has been a lot of overwork, and I knew that I was probably going to be leaving by then. So it was really hard to motivate myself to actually just go to work every day, knowing that it was another busy day. Um, so I think I kind of deserved some extra time off, especially because I remember our team lead at the time who was like, "Yeah, I really encourage you to not burn out and take up some vacation." I'm like, "Yeah, do we get the vacation day from the company?" And he's like, "No, no, you have to use your own vacation days." And I'm like, "It could be that I had other plans for my vacation days, right? Like, there's a reason that I'm not using my vacation unless I have a planned vacation." And therefore, I didn't actually take any because I didn't find it fair that the company wants me to take vacation to prevent burnout, but they want me to use my own vacation days for it. It's like, nope. So I'm really happy I negotiated a 2 week extra layoff, so to say, like a 2 weeks extra vacation in those agreements, for being let go. Um, so that was actually pretty okay, I guess. So yeah, technically I still have a job. I just have vacation right now. But at the end of this month, I am unemployed. Then we'll have to find out what's happening next. So far, we're just enjoying ourselves on YouTube. We crochet a bit together and hang out, and who knows, I may have to start sell some makes because I can't keep it all. So that is the general idea. Night Owl meeting on YouTube. Yes, you're very welcome. So this is our night owl, in my case, morning owl, I guess, meeting where we are sitting together, having fun, doing some crocheting or knitting. I do know we have knitters on the channel as well, or people that do both. And honestly, I totally admit that I am not a knitter. I can knit. I can like do like the regular knits, and I can purl. I think that's like when you do the ribbing. But I'm really not a big knitter. Sometimes I think I should be though. According to the knitters, it's quicker to knit than it is to crochet. But I think you can make so much more nice things with crochet, just in comparison. Yes, smart contract clause, indeed. So the contract clause basically, because it's permanent contract, force me to, well, force me. I'm supposed to accept, well, sign that it's okay that I get fired, or let go. But in that contract clause also says like, I didn't get let go because of something I did, so that I still have rights for unemployment payments, etc., etc. So, and of course, I also got a severance pay and a few other things. So, fundamentally, it wasn't bad compared to many of the other contracts, and it went pretty smoothly, the negotiations, which I made back in July. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 and a half. Awesome, it fits. And this is where we are, one stitch less. So what we are gonna do is, they do say to chain 3 and turn, but actually I want to see if I can do like a stacked double, because I think that looks nicer. And then it says here, work one front post double crochet around the next stitch, work one back post double crochet around the following stitch, and repeat until the last 2 stitches. Work a front post around the second last and a regular around the last. I can do that. What would have happened if I didn't agree to let go? Then they would have had to contact, like that would have gone to court and all that stuff. That's like a lot of complicated things in general. At least that's how I understand it. Honestly, I think it's fair to say that um, this is my first corporate job while I've been living in the Netherlands. I've for many years been used to um, working freelance or being self-employed um, as an eenmanszaak, so it's a sole proprietor business owner. And I still have my own business, so I'm actually still trying to see if I can um, get something to do that way. That is also a part of me been thinking I could do this and add my World of Crochet to that business number if I wanted to, and run it as a real business, which I technically could do for tax purposes. Um, but honestly, let's also face it, the money you make on YouTube is not exactly a fortune. It's nice that I do get some money from YouTube from this ad revenue that runs on YouTube. Um, but you shouldn't do it for the money because it's not really a lot. Let's keep it like that. Not at all. So yeah, fundamentally, if I hadn't accepted it, it would have gone to the lawyers and all that stuff. And the company is kind of ceasing to exist, and it's merging into a different company, and the whole project is moving to Romania. So no matter what I would have done, I would have ended up without a job. So it wouldn't make sense to um, argue too much with them about if I should be let go or not, because obviously, eventually, like the end result would be the same, except they would prefer not having to go to court. Actually, so would I. And it did give me maybe a little bit extra leverage for negotiations because, for example, those extra 2 weeks that I have in my letting go contract, or redundancy agreement, as it so nicely is called, would not have been there originally. So, of course, I had a little bit of extra leverage to say, hey, this is what I want. So can we do it like this? And they did think like a little bit about it, and then they were like, yeah, it's okay. So I know that they sometimes I think maybe I could have gotten a week extra, but overall there was no reason to pressure them for too much more, because I got something similar as to what some of other employees I know got let go based on similar reasonings in the spring. And in fact, I had even an extra part in my contract added, so it made my contract better than theirs. And that was, should I have found a new job before the official end date, then I was actually free to change as long as I gave a 2 weeks notice. Because so I was informed in July that I was going to be let go and my last day would be 31st of October. And I said, yeah, hey, but you're expecting me to be able to apply to new jobs from now on, and then I can tell my new employer, hey, I can first start in 3 months from now. Like, what's the likelihood they will hire me if it's a perfect job for me? It's like slim to none. Um, and I have been looking for jobs. I just haven't found the right one, because that's the thing, and that's something luckily that I am in agreement with my partner. It would be nice if I had a job, um, but it has to be a job that I also would enjoy doing. And the reasoning, obviously, for that is that it is something you're doing every day, and if I don't enjoy doing it, I will end up quitting before time. And if you quit your job here in the Netherlands, you have zero rights for redundancy pay. So that is another reason for that. Let's see. And you have zero rights for unemployment pay as well. So then you're just basically in your own little situation. Let's see if I can actually find the stitch I have to catch here. That would be that one, I think, for a regular double crochet. So I'm just gonna insert a stitch marker and show you guys where we are. It's after row, that would technically be row, if you count the foundation row as one row, this would be row 3, but it could also be row 2. So this is shortened up a bit, and you can actually see the texture here from the front post to back posts. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do another stacked double crochet, and then I will do on the next row, because I finished with the front post here, I will start with the back post after the, so on each end you have a normal double crochet, and in between those I will then, because I have 19 stitches, I have 21 stitches, then I have 19 alternating front post, back post. And thus in the next round, I will not start with a front post, I will start with a back post double crochet. So that's kind of like the short version of it. So that was one stitch, then that was my stacked double. Now we need to start with a back post, and then we do front post and we do back post all the way to the very end, to the second last stitch. I will do a regular double crochet in the last stitch. This should technically be working up quickly, so but then I also have other projects we can work on depending on the time. Not gonna be here all day, of course, because I do have things to do. What I want to do later today, or sometime today, maybe that's more fair said. Sometime today, I am going to take photos of some yarns that I have decided to remove from my stash, and I actually technically want to try to sell them. which would be awesome if I do get buyers for them, because then I can get some money on their accounts, which I probably end up spending on new yarn, knowing myself. I am challenged these days because I have seen yarn sales that I really want to get yarns from, and I'm like, I really shouldn't, because I have enough as is. And in like 2.5 weeks time, 3 weeks time, I have an appointment, and I'm probably gonna see some yarn stores as well then. Depending on what they have, I will probably end up buying yarn, knowing myself. So yeah, I should be mindful of how I do this. La, 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 la. And I have a bunch of things that I can do also with my vacation. Like I want to do some cleaning out of a few cupboards and stuff. So I actually do have time to do stuff, but I also need to be motivated to do it. But I do have the time to do it, which is kind of nice. So that was, and then I just need to have a regular double crochet in this stitch. Done. One more row complete. We will turn it around, do another stacked double. You're kind of getting the gist here, I think. And then instead of starting with the back post, now we're starting with the front post, because it is a new row and they need to line up so that it's always around the same post that you work them. So that is what I am currently doing. So right now it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the pattern is definitely different compared to when I did the beanie. The change of the colors on this particular yarn, which is the Papatya Joyful, is quite short, at least on this colorway. But that's all right. So far, I kind of like how it's turning out, and that they're not necessarily matching. We'll show you in a minute when I've finished this row how it's currently looking. Good morning, Rita. How are you this wonderful Wednesday morning? I hope that Sweden is more dry than the Netherlands, because here it's raining right now. At least it were. Maybe it's dried up. It's like in between. It's autumn weather. It's cold. It is coffee and tea time. And actually, it's time slowly to find my ponchos. And here we have, at least I have 2 ponchos I made myself. I have that one that I made in the yarn art flowers alpaca, which was this with a cowl, the last one I made. I started on at Christmas last year. And then I also have like a thinner one, which I've made in a Hobbies Twister yarn. And it's also getting time to start wear scarves. So I guess I should slowly like start wearing these, and then I can like note nicely down in the stream that what I'm wearing. That would be nice. Maybe that could help inspire. Just need to do a double crochet here. Rita is telling us she's doing okay. Rain last now, and no rain now. Now the sun's coming up. That's nice. Send the sun here. I'd be quite happy to see some sun. Looks a bit funky here, but that's okay. So this is where we are at right now. This is how we are looking colorway wise. I think it's nice. Yeah, and we have, whoops, kicked up here. I still need to remember I'm mirrored. um, so I like actually how it's like kind of popping up different places on this. And it's going pretty okay. We're just going back and forth, and we will see how much we have. So the thing is, let's see, the pattern says that I have to go to a specific length, because it's basically say repeat rows 2 and 3 alternating until your work measures about 43, 46, or 49 centimeters, and that's depending on how big of a project you want to make it. And we have a good way to go because we are at 3.5. Please don't ask me how much that is in inches because I do not know. Yeah, I'm not used to using inches, but can calculate, I guess. We could find a calculator. cm 2 inches. Converter. Yeah. Let's see, did I say? Like the smallest would be 43 centimeters. So that's about 17 inches, like 16.92. Let's just say 17. It's easier to count with. But yeah, good to see you, Rita. What are you up to today? Now the sun is shining. Hope you get to enjoy it a bit. I'm not so sure I want to go outside in this weather today. Maybe when it clears up. They have promised the weather forecast that it will be better from like, let's see, we start with the back post. That it should be better from, I think it's tomorrow, and then Friday they are going to have we're going to have sun. And the crazy thing is and now it's like really getting cold and so on. And then next week we're back to like 20 degrees, and I'm like, hey, that's not autumn weather. Not that I complain, because I rather have 20 degrees than autumn. But yeah, so the weather is a little bit funky right now. There is a story, but that's more fitting to the month of April, that all the months once gathered at a meeting to divide the weather, and the winter months picked snow, and they've picked rain and sun and wind and all that stuff. And apparently the month of April never turned up to pick whether it was distracted by playing or something else. And then because April never claimed the weather, all of the other months in the year gave April a bit of theirs. And that's why April is so unexpectedly that everything can happen in April. That's what they say, at least. If it's true, I don't know. But it is sort of fitting. April is always like the surprise month, but right now it feels like October has turned into a surprise month as well. So Rita says she's going to wheel down to the stores and hoping to get fresh fish that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. One would think that fish wouldn't be too expensive in Sweden, or considering all the coast you have around, right? But honestly, I know buying fresh fish in Denmark is also a fortune. They also coast all around. Um, but it is kind of nice. What I would do if I were in Denmark is I would actually seek up the harbor itself and try be there before they sell, like to actually approach the fishermen themselves, because you can often get cheaper fish there than if it goes via the auction houses and so on. Because obviously, the more parties it's gone through before you can buy it, the more expensive it is. Rita says so she found 4 whips in her unpacking yesterday, so she's trying to decide what to knit and trying to remember what and who the whips are to. Oh my goodness, yeah. I advise putting notes in your whips if you have forgotten what they are about. When you put them away, I tend to do that at least. Just like if I bought yarns and I haven't started on the project yet and I don't want to forget what the yarn purpose is, I literally like put it down a note saying this is a pattern I want to use, or a copy of the pattern itself if it's a printed pattern. Oh yeah, living in Lancaster, definitely. Same here. We do have a store. I don't know if they have them in Sweden as well. Do you know Metro? Metro is a store for sorry, my nose is sticky. Metro is a store for wholesale for, like, if you run restaurants and companies and so on. You can only get in there if you have a business card. Um, we have one, because my partner also has his own business, so we can get in there, and they actually have sometimes fresh fish. And I would go there to get like Victoria bass or mm, sometimes sea bass. They have some really awesome sea bass there, and sea bass is such a nice, tasty fish. I also sometimes often enjoy making dorade. Dorade, I love. Like, if we go to Greek, we have a Greek restaurant that's like about 5-6 kilometers from here, and they make the most amazing, fully grilled dorade. Like, you get it with head and tail and everything, but it's very tasty. Oh yeah, okay, I get that's a challenge. So you used to know who they were for, but you haven't been working on them for like 18 months. Is that with all the moving and so on that's been going on? Because I know you have been doing a lot of moving around and a bit in and out of hospitals and so on. So it's been a little bit of a challenge to keep track. For me, it's just because I get so inspired and then I bought new yarns. Then, that's kind of what's happened for me, right? Oh, but that I want to make that project and I want to make that project, and then, oh, and that's a nice project too. So the short ends of it is usually that I bought yarns and then, but I've been a good girl. Sometimes I just bought the yarn and I never started on the project. Didn't start on it yet. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's sad, but that's very nice of you to take care of your dad before he died. I get all sad now. Sad story. Um, Stacked double. We're back to doing front posts. Another row complete, meanwhile, by the way. Um, as I said, I don't know how far we'll get, but we will try our best to get somewhere. And if we do medium, we do medium size. Like, I'm kind of okay with everything. Or small. If it stops before then, we'll just stop before then. It's a children's headband, I guess. Oh, that's good. So basically, you moved your mom with you to Sweden. I thought actually that you did the move. But yeah, that's good. I have to say, um, and I think my mom is still hanging out in here. Um, that as we're getting older, and I can feel that they are getting older, I sometimes wish I lived closer. but it's just not a realistic thing to move, at least not for right now. And I'm not sure if I will, but it does give me concerns for when they need more, uh, because it's more difficult for me to help them. My parents live 965 kilometers away. I need to travel through Germany to get there. It's a 9 hours car drive, or of course I can fly there a bit quicker, but still. So it is quite a distance between us, and sometimes I do have my concerns, like when they really need things, then I wish I was a bit closer. Um, and I'm also sure that they are aware of this. Um, Meanwhile, my mom-in-law is an older lady as well, and she's actually started to apply for one floor apartments. Like, so she has everything on the same floor because she feels that she's slowly, like the house she's in right now, which is also a rental, is too big for her, and she's just like preparing for her old days. And I think that's really a clever idea because really she's alone and she has as much room as we have just with the two of us, and she just doesn't use it. And on top, um, if she needs to use the toilet, her bedroom is on the first floor, but the toilet is on the first floor, so like the down floor, main floor. So she has to, like, if she has to use the toilet in the middle of the night, she will have to get up and down um, to use it downstairs. So that's a bit inconvenient. And as you get older, apparently you need to use it a bit more during the night hours. Stash says you use a crochet journal to help keep track of any projects she starts. I probably should have a journal. I don't. Um, I think this width is actually quite pretty okay. With 2 stitches less. Like that covers my ears, and this covers my headphone thing nicely. So we should be fine. I stopped counting rows here. I could, but it's not important. Still have quite some yarn to go, so let's see how far we will get. In worst case, I do have something else yarn, but I don't know. It's probably just going to be the small one. Can stretch it a bit. Yeah, that makes good sense. So Rita says it was easy to get her mom to live with them because she needs more help. Yeah, that makes really good sense. Um, that does. Honestly, if we had a bigger house, I would probably also be open to having my mom-in-law living with us. Definitely would. Or my parents for that matter. But I think my dad would go crazy. um, he would get bored and he would go crazy. Um, Reminds me I need to do laundry later today. Does anyone want to do my laundry? I need to get something washed and I need to get something folded. Um, it's time. I guess what I could have done is I could have weighed this yarn and see how far we are and how much we have left and if it's a realistic make. I have the idea it's a realistic make what I'm doing, but not 100% sure right now. Maybe we'll be fine. does bias a little bit that we have more length to it. So this is just a bunch of front post, back post doubles, and I realize that my stomach is telling me that I'm hungry. But that has to wait. So if you hear it saying noises in the background, it just claims it's hungry. Doo-doo. Stacked double to start the row with, and then we are back doing front post, back post, front post, back post. It's actually going pretty okay. And now I would normally have been so far in the stream that I would say, have a nice day. But we're not. I am still able to hang out with you guys. But the real question is, of course, if I will reach to finish this make in time. That I'm not 100% sure of. I did finish the summer shopper bag yesterday during the live. Was pretty happy about that. And it's still laying here. We're going to talk about that in Friday's Yarn Talk video, of course, because I finished up a project. Yay! Also started a new project. Actually, I started 2 new projects. They're also laying next to me. Third with this one. But hopefully this one should be a quick make. But if I will finish it today, I don't know. It does take a bit to go through. I do feel that. And it could be that my hands will complain before then. I have also started to look a bit more at overhead streaming gear so that we can make something where you can actually follow me from the top, like you can get like my eye position or something like that. Because I think that could be nice. And it could be that it could improve because I do have some overhead stuff which are useful when I've been recording tutorials. But I think it could maybe work out nicer for the if we're going to do something where you can easier see what I'm actually doing, where you can follow my hands. And meanwhile, it has become 10 a.m. here in the morning in the Netherlands while we are on this live together. So we've been here for close to an hour. Good morning, good morning. We're a few minutes late for this morning live. That I do admit. Because my partner slept over, which means that he got late into shower and then I got late into shower. Like, I had placed my alarm so I would have plenty of time to get up. And then, when my alarm went, he was still in the bed next to me. So I was like looking at him saying, honey, aren't you going to go to work today? And he was like, oh, yeah, shit. And he ran to shower, right? I did a very quick shower. My, I was impressed. And then I jumped into shower and here I am. So that's why I was a little bit late for the start of the stream. but it was just a few minutes grabbing the rest of the things. But it does mean that I've been really unhealthy and did not eat breakfast. So when my stomach complains, it's because it says it wants breakfast, which is kind of fair actually. But I'm gonna see if it can last another hour without, and then hope we can get there here. Because the thing is, I haven't started. Like, it took some while to get it started and everything. But now, when we have the foundation started, now it's just crocheting. This goes pretty swift. So this is what we are doing. Are you a left-handed crocheter, Stash, or are you just are you right-handed? Because my plan for future tutorials is to actually upload both. Like, I'll of course the I do them I'm a right-handed crocheter. I could probably crochet left hand, but it takes too much energy and will take, like, it will be a bit clumsy. Um, but I am sort of multi-handed, so to say. Like when I eat, for example, I eat as a left-handed person. Um, so it kind of depends on what I'm doing, if I'm left or right-handed. But the thing is, the tool I use to edit my videos with, I can flip them around so they are left-handed as well. So that is my plan to do for all future videos. And my leafy shawl is coming on Monday as a left-handed version as well. Okay, you're right-handed. Yeah, I think it's nice as well. I like to include them because I know that the left-handed crocheters sometimes find it difficult to follow the right-hand tutorial ones because they have to imagine this flip in their mind, like the mirroring. And now I can just do it for them. So that is kind of what I'm helping them with. So that's why I've been posting those videos, basically to give it. And I know that is something that I was told by my mom, that my cousin has a daughter. She would like to learn to crochet, but she's left-handed. So yeah, verbal instructions are nice. I can follow those as well usually. And often, depending on the project itself, if I follow a tutorial, let's say on YouTube for something, then with some things I have to look. But generally, I can also just like listen to it and just sit and do it. My only challenge is that I often find sometimes that the tutorials goes quicker than I actually practically crochet. But that's also maybe because you need to get the information and you need to translate it to something that then goes out of your hands, if that makes sense. One more row completes and we will do another stacked double because I think they look nicer than the chains. And we are back to doing front posts, back post, front post, back post. And then when I finish this, I need to finish it with a large enough cord. Like when I cut the yarn, if I need to cut the yarn, because I can use that to sew them together with to create the headband. Like, why would I cut that and sew in the ends and then use another yarn to sew it together with? That would be ridiculously stupid. So it would make more sense to use the same yarn if possible. Would also save you some yarn because you don't need to sew in two ends. I'm going to show you guys how this one looks when I'm at the very end of this row. But But right now it's just straightforward. No crazy stuff. Front post, back post, front post, back post. Double crochets, all of them, of course. I think it's going pretty nicely right now. And we have to do the regular double at the very end. This is the piece we have. I really like how these colors are working up like this, back and forth. It's nice. But looking at the yarns I have here, I'm not so sure if we actually have enough anymore, because we might not have. We might not have. Then what? Because now we're at 9 centimeters. So I need another 40. Not so sure that's gonna happen, actually. Shoot. I will probably need a weight scale for this. I am not sold right now. This one needs to increase its length by 5 times, at least. Yeah, larger hook, more yarn, but at the same time, larger stitches also. Guess I'm just optimistic with how much yarn there's here, but let's face it right now. I'm not totally sold that I will have enough. I am not sold. Which means that my plan is ruined. If I'm clever, I get my weight scale and see how far I am compared to what I have. Yes, that would be the clever one. Well, it is just over there, so give me a moment. I'll pick it up. The best way of doing yarn chicken is with a kitchen scale. And I'm like, I'm not gonna go through all this if I won't make it. Kitchen scale. And I'm basically just powering it on. Then I'm going to weigh this piece and I'm going to weigh what I have left. And it's very simple. But what I also forget, I think, is because I do the front post, back posts, it doesn't extend the stitches as far. But let's see. The project is 13 grams and I have 23 grams of yarn left. In other words, I will lose yarn chicken. So I need to do something else with this yarn. Damn it. I would have thought there would have been more than enough for the way around. Maybe it would if it's just a plain headband without the front post, back posts. But one thing is very clear here. I will lose. So I'm not gonna finish this, my friends. It will not happen because I will lose. I was very optimistic and I really like how this worked out. But I don't have more skeins of this. It's like my only last skein left. So what else can I make from this? What I could do is I could probably combine it with a different yarn and do something nice with it. Yeah, that might be what I end up doing. Good morning, Amanda. I'm just about to lose yarn chicken, so I am stopping before I continue. Hello, Michael. I see you're also in the house. Oh my goodness. 10:15 in the morning here in the Netherlands, and I am officially losing yarn chicken. So I had this brilliant idea a long time ago. I made this like a year ago. I made this beanie, just plain double crochets, nothing fancy. Took 2/3 of the skein. I had a third left, thinking if I can make a beanie with all this, I can make a headband. A headband is far from a beanie, right? Sitting here, concluding, at least with the pattern I chose, is not going to happen. This is 1/3 of the yarn I had, and this is the 2/3 that's left. So I will increase this by 2/3 lengthwise, and then I'm not even at half what I need for the headband. So project scrapped, which makes zero sense at all. The pattern is definitely the one that's failing me here. I could also just make plain boring double crochets back forth, and then put it together, tie it together. I guess it's just not as fancy. But what I do know is that if I continue with this, it's not going to result in what I had hoped. So I am just gonna, yeah, it's not going to be what I'd hoped. The end. I could alter the pattern and maybe just make them with regular, and I even use lesser stitches than the pattern say. But I think it's the front post, back post eating up more yarn, or me just being totally overly optimistic on how much yarn it takes. That is a very high likelihood, by the way. I tend to believe things takes a lot less. They don't always. Except for like shawls. Sometimes I'm surprised how far I get. Even though like at the very beginning I'm like, I'm not so sure I get so far. And then when I'm there I'm like, oh my goodness, it turned out much bigger than I'd expected. But that headband, we are not going to finish that one today because it's not going to turn out how I expect it to be. I'm probably going to frock it, and then it could be if I just do plain double crochets, but that's boring. Maybe if you do, that could be a possibility to do front loop, back loops, like one row front loop, one row back loop. Then it kind of gives a little bit of a stretch. And then instead of having the ribbing like here, you would have it like this. That could maybe work. I think that's an idea. But first I have to frock it, which probably would be easier to cake it up again. Yeah. The end for that story. Oopsie doopsie daisy. I'm sure we have all been in this situation once where it did not match. Yes, totally chicken here. And Amanda says she has a painter coming along today to get some of stuff painted, and she's making coffee. Coffee is a good idea, actually. So what I could do Yeah, it would, right? Like I think that so instead of so right now I'm doing the front post back post. So and it's actually growing like this. So now I have the stretch here, but it would make more sense to have the stretch like this. Optionally, you could make it very long, but that would still take the same yarn. But the thing is, doing front post back post does take more rows to get to the same length than regular double crochets. So what I wanted to do is then instead of doing front post back post, maybe just do front loop back loops and then alternating that. I could probably do that. But that is going to be a project for another day. I'm not gonna, because I will have to frog it and I will have to, oh, I could try to wind it up, but I'm just not in the mood to do that. So that is going to be, I don't know, a weekend project. When I do it, I will definitely have my weight scale next to me because I do not want to frog more than I need to. But it should give you some stretch. What I am working on, meanwhile, is a different project. And we can't talk about that because I could probably do another round on that. Is the Divine Hat by Sarah Arnold. Some call it the shell stitch hat. Yeah, let's just so that is how far we are right now. I have the yarn, and this is really I am having too much light on for it to actually decently catch the color of this yarn. But it's like salmon colored, but it has a shine, like a pearly haze, pearly shine to it. It's like Hobby's Metallico yarns, except this is not from Hobby. And I am currently on 4th row, and then after this, I don't know what to do. Amanda says here that, let's see, I'm just going to get a little bit of light back. She had to move all the yarn yesterday due to the painter, and yeah, sewing in yarn tails I was too lazy to do. Yeah, that is kind of that headband is going to be. I will do that eventually, and that's really like not maybe I'll do it later today. Fuck it, but I'm not in the mood right now during the live. And once I'm done with this row, I actually don't know what's next on this pattern, so I'll have to check that out as well. Hallelujah. But I actually like this color, this salmon. It's not pink, it's like a salmon rosy shine. But it's not the best for the camera, unfortunately. At least not for my web camera. I haven't checked how my phone camera would respond to it yet. Guess we will find out for my weekly yarn talk. Yes, Amanda, will you also do all my ends and tails? Then I don't have to sew them in myself. I'm generally trying to do when I do have projects where I know I need to sew stuff together. I'm trying to use those tails already to help sewing them together when possible. Not that it's always possible, but that's what I had planned to do for this headband. But I can see now that this headband is definitely not gonna work out. It's like, no, not happening. So Amanda will get her one wall in the living room, one wall in the small bedroom, and most of the kitchen repainted. Oh, that's a benefit of being rented, right? Like they will just come and do it, and you don't see the bill for it because yay. Can you actually choose colors, or are they just doing it boring white or something like that? Because I remember back in the days when I had an apartment, it was like you can paint it, but if we have to paint it white when you move out, you will have to pay for it. And if it is white and it's just dirty white and we have to repaint it, it's not going to cost you extra kind of thing. So I'm like, nah, I'm good with the white. Because I wasn't sure how long I was going to live there. And I knew it was temporary in any case, like a few years at best. So I was like, no, I'm too cheapskate for that. I'll survive with the white. Oh, the more Rita looks here, the more small mistakes she's fine, but nothing big. Yes, I got it from the Yarnhole shopping trip station. That's right. That is absolutely right. And that is what I started working with, and I kind of hope it's going to turn out as nice as it looks here. I will have to probably share a photo of it once complete. That would be nicer. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Skip. I'm really good at the front posts today, though. But I'm annoyed about the headband. It would have been wonderful if that had worked out. But I can see that I was too overly optimistic. So what I can do is either make stripes in the headband, so to say, with the yarns that I have, or simply find a different pattern, because theoretically it should be enough to make a headband. So I think I might try the front loop, back loop to get a little bit more stretch into it. That's my current thoughts. All white walls, very Swedish. It was wonderful to catch you again, Michael. I wish you a great sleep. And who knows, maybe you'll catch me in a morning one, unless you have to head to work somewhere. I were online doing a live yesterday morning, your time. That would have been like, I went live around maybe 7 or 8 a.m. Texas time. 7:30 I went live. That's how it was. I'm not sure how much I'll be hanging out still, but we will see. Because my issue is once I have done this row, I need to figure out what's next on this pattern. Because there are multiple approaches to it. Maybe I should just frock the other one when I'm here. Could be. I could do that. Was not what I had planned. I totally admit that. I totally admit that was not what I had planned. I'm usually pretty good at calculating stuff, but clearly that one failed me. And then we are all the way around. Because I had done a few things last night. So I was like 2/3 around. I don't think we should extend it more though. What I'm gonna do, I am going to pop my headset off and try to make a pre-fit of this. One moment. Oh yes, I tend to sleep in also these days. I really enjoy not having to get early up. So give me a moment. And sorry if I seem far away. do think that fits nicely, actually. That's not too bad. But obviously it's not long enough yet. But that's just a question of some more rows. And that's probably what I have to do now. Maybe I just need to add some rows and then, yeah. I don't think I need to increase more because that will end up becoming big. So I don't have a small head. I probably have like medium to large head, like around. So I think that's probably gonna be fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make one more round here, and then that's gonna be the it. Alternatively, is I go to frog this yarn and frog this project. I could do that as well. Oh, choices, choices, choices. I could do that too. Yeah, this one doesn't seem right if I increase more. Oh, so that's nice. We learned something. But yeah, I really should cave in. Needs to get frogged. And then I need to find out. Might not need as many stitches actually. I think this looks really nice though, how it all worked up. But yeah, sad story. It's frocking time. So I will just bind this around and around. It's not going to be nice a cake, but hopefully it will stay. And then, in worst case, I can always re-cake it with my yarn winder later. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Exactly. I'm so disappointed that I lost yarn chicken. And that's like really bad losing, like being short for more than a half of what you need. Damn. I had not expected that. But that's of course based on something else that's just made in double crochets. So it should be enough. It's just, I just need a different pattern. So yeah, we're ripping it. Then I will have to decide what to do next. I have a few other projects laying around that wants my attention too. But I have a feeling that what I thought would be complete, maybe I'll get around that later today, but let's just keep it like this did not turn out as I had planned for it. Oh. What did we do this morning? We worked up an ice and it looked really great. And then a few rows later, we realized that was not going to work out. And then we fracked it all again. So what did I actually progress this morning? Not much, but I did learn stuff. And now that's the downside of frocking wool. Ta-ta. Nothing left. While just winding it up on what I had. I haven't thought about adding an embellishment to the Divine Hearts. Stacey's asking me if I want to or if I will. She added a crochet bow to one and a rosette to another to add a little style. It could be. It could be. But I honestly admit I haven't given it a thought. Right now, I'm just thinking to make it. I do want a little bit of length on it, so it's not like too snug on your head. But yeah, no, I haven't given it a thought, but it could be. It could be. You know, you can always make a little flower later and so on if you want to, right? Right now I'm just making it. So yarn back, all winded up, and I'm thinking I should be able to make a headband of this, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just too overly optimistic, because when I'm looking at it like this, it doesn't look like an awful much either, but technically there should be enough of it. There's 36 grams, and the cake, what the skein was 100, and that's what's left. Like after making this, so I really should be able to. But of course, that's based on a double crochet project. It could also just be boring, go back and forth in plain double crochets, then it's just not stretching too much. That's why I wanted to do the front post, back posts. But maybe it works with front loop, back loop, and then just plain double crochets. Might work. That might work. That might work. And then I might have enough yarn for small. Because the hat is like 70 grams. Dang it. Would be easy. But I guess it's not supposed to be easy. I do think there are different ways to this pattern, to the shell pattern. Because one pattern says to make like 7 rounds, and I now made, oh wait, I did 4. I think I'm definitely gonna add some more rounds to this. The width seems okay, so increasing further should not be a good idea. So I will add one more round before ending this live, I think. So for those who's not made the divine hat right now, what I am doing is I'm doing a front post double crochet, and then between the front post double crochet and a double crochet I insert 4 double crochets, and then I skip those 4 double crochets from the previous round, and I go in and make a new front post in the front post from the last round. And that is what's creating these shells. And I'm adding one more round of this to this project. And then we will have to see. But I have enough yarn to do this, so that should be enough. I calculate it should take about a ball per hat. So I technically should have enough here. I have more than enough yarn left, at least from what I know. Yeah, I'm only like a third into the yarn. So that should be fitting. But there will not be enough yarn left to make... there will not be enough yarn left to make a headband from this. But it could be that there would be enough left to make some sort of embellishment for another hat, something like that. Because I actually do like this powdery salmon color yarn. It does feel really like pearls, like, you know, what is it called? Yeah, it's pearlyish, like you have it on pearls. It's a specific shine. It has a specific shine to it. Of course, the shine comes from the, I do believe it's polyamide. if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 70% polyamide, 20% acrylic, 10% wool is the mixture of this yarn. So it's the polyamide that makes it seemingly shiny. Don't drop your coffee. Queen Curls Crochet. Welcome, 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 welcome. I do not know where you're from, so I'm going to say good morning if you're in Europe, good evening or good night if you're in Americas, and good afternoon if you're in Australia or down under somewhere. And good morning, good morning, good morning. Nice to have you stumble in. I was working on a headband and I had to frock it because I would not have enough yarn to complete it. So I decided it's frocked, and now it's frocked. And then I started working on the divine hat that I had started on working on a few days ago. 2 days maybe? Monday? I think I started on Monday. Or was it this weekend? I don't remember anymore. So yeah, I started to continue on the hats because since I suddenly did not have enough yarn to complete my headband, my yarn chicken measurements told me I wouldn't have. So Queen Curls Crochet is in Sweden. Then it is indeed good morning. It's 10:38 here in the Netherlands, so I'm quite sure it's also 10:38 in Sweden. It's a long time ago since I've been to Sweden. I've been to Sweden a few times in my past. Been there on vacation, I've been there for competitions, and I've been there just traveling through in Arlanda, Stockholm, depending on. So I've been to Säffle in Sweden for a competition for a few years. And last time I was in Finland, I had a landover in Arlanda on the way home. So I did Helsinki, Arlanda, Amsterdam, basically. Yes, another Swede. I know. So we have Rita, if she's still around. She's in Sweden. And we have Amanda from the Scraptastic Crocheter. And we have Queen Curls Crochet also in Sweden. Heya, heya, heya. And let's be totally honest and brutally here. I'm Danish. I'm just not in Denmark. So I can understand and speak a little bit of Swedish. Hey Rita, I just wasn't sure because you had it about rolling down to get some fish at the store, fresh fish. So it could be that you had rolled off already. But happy to see you're still here because see, we have 3 Swedes with us. Do we have a 4th in hiding? Oh, I am jealous of you ladies living so close to one another. I wish it was me. Oh man. I wish I lived closer to you ladies. That would have been so cool. Too early to go out yet. Well, the store's open. Been open for like an hour and a half here, depending on where you are, what stores. Fun thing is, many things in the Netherlands I feel happens an hour later than it normally would be in Denmark. So that was something I had to get used to in the beginning. Here, if you just go to the grocery store, they open usually at like 8 a.m. in the morning. Oh, wow! So Rita and Amanda also met up on Monday because when Rita was moving, I know that they made a Stanley order together, and Amanda was so kind to receive it. So she was like taking care of all Rita's Stanley yarns. Ah, okay. I'm sorry about the pain. I hope that will be better during the day. Like, do you have some meds you take in the morning so the pain goes better during the day, or it's just a question of mental handling, or how does that work for you? Nobody should be in chronic pains. Generally, I have to say, so um, not that I'm happy to talk about diseases and so on. I have an autoimmune disease myself, and as long as I'm medicated right, I do not have pain. But I can have pain if I don't have the right meds or forget to take my meds. And the new meds they put me on last year, I have to say, I definitely generally feel less issues um, from my side effects of it, so to say. So that's really positive. Um, and the numbers looked really good in the spring, but then last time I were there, they weren't too happy with them. So I don't know, to be honest. I will see them again in October. So that's in 2.5 weeks' time. That's why I'm saying when I go through that appointment, I will be in the city regardless. So I'm going to have to visit a yarn store too. Chronic pain hazmat for it. Yeah. Chronic pains suck. I wish we could abolish them. Yeah, we all have some sort of issues, don't we, in one way or another? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Um, but as I said, I'm usually not the one to advertise that I have issues. So I generally just, you know, it's fair enough to say, hey, I have an appointment, so I'm not here. But further than that, it's just what it is. That is one of the reasons, like last summer, some of the things I did was postponed or extended because of having to go to the hospitals because I had to do a bunch of checkups last summer before they could change my meds. Um, and that took like forever. We have issues, but then we have the yarn. Yes, sir. That is so true. The yarn kind of. So I started to crochet because of. Like, I was taught when I was a child and I didn't do it for years. And then I got back into it actually during my old work because I had moments where I could sit and wait and wait and wait for customers to call. And I would just do nothing, just stare out in the thin air, so to say. Well, sometimes I had stuff to do, but generally I did not have a lot of things to do. Um, so it was easier for me to start do something. And then I was out shopping with my mom-in-law one day, and I saw this Easter chicken. And I was like, crocheted Easter chicken. So I bought this crochet kit. Um, and it was obviously a shitty hook and some shitty quality yarns and so on because it was really cheap. That set. But I ended up did doing it, though I did get a different hook to actually do it with, and then I was kind of hooked. Um, yeah, so that's kind of how I got back into crocheting, and then at some stage I decided, okay, I should vlog about my progress and what I'm doing, and then that is how my YouTube channel got created, and then here we are. A bit later, a few years later, actually 2 years later, more or less, and we are almost done this 5th round. The real question is maybe I should do one more round. Would make sense, I think. Let's see, just a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the last round. So I need to slip stitch into this. Done. Stitch marker to keep it tracked. It does funkily curl up towards the center though. One more round. Ta-ta. 2, 3, 4, 5. I could consider, I still think I want to have more on it. We can do what we did just before to see how it looks with an extra added round. So I'm going to look stupid again, but I'm going to take this off and show you. Now, that direction. Now, what I can say is that I can't really take it further much down because I do have my hair set up in a way where it's not really hat friendly. I have like a clip in my hair. But one more round probably wouldn't harm either. Is my feeling right now. So Queen Say here, she actually started knitting a bit, but her elbow started hurting and she switched to crochet. Suits so much better. So thanks to YouTube, she relearned to crochet. I will totally admit, in the very, very beginning, for the first few stitches, and that's also because, you know, I learned to crochet like when I was a child, 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, that um, that I did use YouTube just to get caught back on, you know, that I didn't do front posts or front loop only single crochets and so on. I mixed them a bit up in the beginning. So a quick few tutorials did help me quick relearn. And now when I'm like into it, I'm like, yeah, that's how it goes. And it goes quick and fast. Like a chicken with an eggshell on their head. Yes, that's kind of how I looked, wasn't it? And it looks so white because of the light I have here. The light is just not, or the camera just doesn't pick up the colors in this very nice. It really doesn't. It's a shame. I think it looks so much nicer on the video I made that showed the yarn haul Monday. But I just decided, ladies, that I'm gonna do one more row of this because that makes sense. And then I don't know what's next, but what's next for me is probably that we're closing down for today. Is what I'd imagine right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 4, front post, do 4 doubles in the next space. So Queen says she crochets a lot because it makes her happy and it helps a lot with the ADHD. Yeah, I can imagine. Because you do need to calm down and focus. And what's also really useful for concentration purposes, actually they made studies of this, and of course I need to make a little bit of advertisement for it. I used to, and I still do, shoot. I'm a rifle shooter, and the training and learning how to do or learning how to shoot basically. And if you just do that once a week for like an hour, also helps concentration because there you're also supposed to be focused on. Well, you have to be focused because else you won't improve. And a study actually has shown that children with, for example, autism or HDAD, let's try again, ADHD issues actually improve their ability to focus also for school, for learning in school. Um, so I can recommend that as well. But I can imagine crochet might have similar effects because for crochet you need to sit down, relax, and keep focus, or you will make mistakes basically. Have a nice evening, Stash. I don't know if you're heading to bed or if you're heading to work. I do know that you do night shifts, so take care. I will see you another time. It was very nice to have you around. Amanda's asking Queen Curls Crochet where she's from in Sweden. Soon you will have all one big Swede gathering, I can imagine. If you're living all close to this, that would be kind of fun. Show how tiny the world is. Crochet for me has also turned into something, yeah, it's relaxing. Um, Definitely is. And it's, yeah, it's just nice. And you have the feeling you produce stuff. So, yeah, definitely sort of meditation. Queen Curls Crochet she is in Stockholm. I do believe Amanda is in Enköping. Enköping, I think would be the more right. Is that really that close? Enköping and Uppsala? I always had the idea that Uppsala was far further north. But that definitely, and that Enköping was closer to Stockholm. I need to find a map. Amanda also promised me one day to come all the way to Denmark, and I will go all the way to Denmark and we go to Hobby together. That's not too far. That's not too bad. An hour by bus. That's doable. Do you have like cheap public transportation tickets? Or how is that working in Sweden? Like, for instance, in Luxembourg, you can travel all around Luxembourg for 2 hours for just €2. That's pretty cool. I will have to give the map a look for you ladies. I'm curious. I'm jealous as well. Yes, when we win the lottery, I get big on YouTube. Well, so the thing is for me, I might actually just visit my parents and then still go there and then see if Hobby is okay with me recording something from the store. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? Um, that would be so cool. The store in Roskilde is like an hour's drive from my parents. Less, probably more like 45 minutes. But you would need to park the car and everything so before you're actually there. Maybe when my mom is good and healthy and have her current issues under control, we can go there. She's suffering from a very horrible cough at the moment, and the doctors is trying to figure it out because it's not because of a cold. So she is having a bunch of medical appointments. I really hope they figure out what's wrong and that it will be solved within foreseeable time. Oh, girls, I want to come to Sweden now. I see how Amanda and Rita and Queens are all talking about meeting up. I'm jealous. That's nice. That's nice. Happy to see that. So I'm jealous in a good way. You can be that. I'm jealous that you guys live so close. But I'm also happy for you that you live so close that this might be possible. Yes, we are talking field trip to Hobby Hobby. So my parents are in Denmark. Obviously, I'm Danish. They do actually have a few physical stores in Denmark. So that would be a field trip to Hobby. The only question for me is this: I need to find time to actually physically go there, because that would be a combination of me visiting my parents. Yeah, Roskilde is also the one that's closest to the Swedes. So that's a perfect part of it. I could go to some of the other ones probably, but yes, field trip to Hobby Hobby would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? I have many hobby yarns laying upstairs in my stash. And the yarn I'm working on right now is very much like Hobby's Metallico yarn. So Amanda's telling about there's a sit and knit gathering every Thursday at the hotel in Uppsala, and that is where she and Rita's mom plans on doing tomorrow. So like they're meeting up at this sit and knit event, and I think that's really nice. I know actually that this small city that where my mom lives, they have a similar thing. But that's actually like a dinner thing. Like, you sign up and you get a dinner. Well, you pay for it. And then the whole evening you kind of like sit and crochet on it. Um, but they also have like a few small groups outside of that where a few ladies just meet every so often um, for a few hours to do handcrafts, basically, either knit, crochet, maybe something else even. They should sponsor us, Hobby, so that we can go there and squish all the yarn. I totally agree. Please pay for my flight ticket back home so I can see my parents at the same time. And I will make a video for Hubby. Hallelujah. That sounds like a great plan, but I'm not so sure that that's going to happen. We are not big enough for that, for this YouTube channel, for them to actually allow us to do that. But I definitely want to go there one day. That would be so cool. Definitely. There's a few stores here in the Netherlands that I could actually visit as well. That could be nice to give a visit. But some of them will still require me to have a car. And then I need to actually make that sensible, because obviously a car costs fuel. Because going there by public transportation is going to take like forever, and it might even be more expensive depending on how the transportations are. So yeah. Rita says it's going to be so nice to meet up tomorrow with Amanda. Queens has no idea that it actually happened and how often it is. And Amanda is explaining here that this sit and knit event is like after work type in a hotel lobby, get some bubbly and hang out with yarny people. So basically, grab a drink, sit together, chit chat while you crochet, or coffee for that matter. So that I think that's really it's a great idea for people to meet up, um, because it does help you bond, but you also have the opportunity to maybe even do yarn trades or get new ideas for projects, or if you have something that you are struggling with, you might even be able to get help to figure it out, because there's always somebody that knows something you don't. That is my view on things. Like I know a lot. I really know a lot, but I don't know everything. Um, so I'm very sure there are things that I don't know that, for example, Amanda knows, and then Amanda can help me. An opposite, right? So that's just how things go, and that's kind of awesome. It's kind of sad that you're not available, Queens, tomorrow, because I think it would be so cool if you three ladies met up. Then Amanda, you would have to take a photo and send to me just so I can be jealous, right? Ah. I'm actually almost all the way around here. Very, very close. Amanda says she preferred train or to rent a mobile home, husbil, to crochet on the train or be able to buy a lot of yarn and then fill the mobile home. Yes. Yeah, I would probably just do a train, though I would end up going there by car because that's easier. Um, I would fly home, but then if I buy anything that I can't have back with me in the suitcase, I can probably get my parents to keep track of it for me until I see it again, with the hope that my mom won't use it, of course. One more row complete, and somehow it just wants to go with the outside in. But ta-ta! It's actually starting to look more and more like a hat, isn't it? It's just not very good with the light I have. That was one more round complete. So Amanda says she's only able to do the sit and knit on the weeks where she doesn't have her kits. She has two lovely kits, and obviously she needs to be able to pick them up on time, etc., etc. So um, that's logic. So she goes every second week. Queen says she still considers herself an advanced beginner. I love learning new things. A thieving mom. Yeah, my mom probably wouldn't thieve it from me unless I buy some yarn where I'm asking her to actually knit something for me. That's happened before, quite a few times. I tend to buy yarn and I'm like, Mom, can you please knit this sweater for me? Or can you do these socks? Or yeah, that is how it's usually working more often than not. But so far she hasn't taken my crochet projects because she usually prefer knitting to crochet, where I'm the opposite type. Um, so it kind of depends on the projects planned. I think this is really working up nicely though, this hat and this yarn. Really looking forward for that to be finished. But clearly, the headband is not gonna work out. That is what I've learned. Well, 43 centimeters had been enough. Still, I would have had enough yarn to do half. So that is a new something that has to happen. Yeah. So what I am gonna do now, because my tea is not completely empty, but it's very close to empty. I need to slowly watch out. Amanda says she had to move stuff around for the painter and now she can't reach her yarn wider and she needs it now. Be right back when she climb on things. Take care, Amanda. Please don't fall down off things. And now I hear Sonos tells me something it doesn't understand, but I didn't talk to it. Oh, it starts playing music. Oh, just a moment. Hey, Sonos, stop. Thank you. Sorry about that. Queen says, I think the commuter train takes me to Uppsala in like 45 minutes. Maybe I can join you guys next time. That would be nice, like 2 weeks' time. So save the date, is what I would normally say. So that would be on Thursday, 17th of October. I'd warmly recommend you to kind of keep in touch with one another. Definitely. Would be awesome for you ladies to meet up. I'm jealous. I am. Really. And I think Rita's mom also knits or crochets, if I'm not wrong, because she's also with them at this sit and knit event. I know Rita does a lot of socks. She knits socks. Yep. Yes, you do. Knit socks. But I know you do so many other things as well, Rita. You are also a creative lady. I'm just trying to keep track on things. I was sent a link. Oh. And I see YouTube is sending ads. Sorry about that. Now the big question is, where did you send me the link? There it is. It's Facebook being slow. Oh, that's cool. Stick och trick hos Clarion Hotel Gillette. That's so cool. Every Thursday from, I think, 5 p.m. Oh, that is awesome. That's like every Thursday from yeah, from 5 to 8. Amanda, do you want me to share the information here on the channel when we are on the live before I ended up? Because I can do that. Like, I can share the event. The event link, I think, should be able to. There you go. I even spelled it right. Hallelujah. Queen says she just ordered new Black Friday candy yarn from Jade from Hobby. I wanna order yarn, but I am on a budget. for two reasons. One, I need room. Um, if you ever get the chance, I have a whole series on my channel called Sort My Stash 2024. That is, if I don't remember wrong, 24 or 25 videos of me sorting all of my stash, and you will see I have more than enough yarn to survive me a lifetime. Um, at least with the speed I crochet these days, it seems like a lifetime. Maybe I'll be done in a few years, but well, in a few years, 20. Um, so I have enough yarn. Point one, I really should use the yarns I have first. Not really good at that. Point two, I really should decrease my stash a bit because I have a lot of yarn and I actually don't have that much room anymore because it's taken up by boxes of yarn and my stash. So that's another reason for me to I really should decrease my stash a bit. And three, since I am unemployed in about a month and I will be on unemployment payment and I have 3 months of that, and then I don't know what's happening next. Of course, unless I find a job before then. Um, there are opportunities out there, even if it's part time. I am open for a few things. Or I have to do a bunch of tutorials and grow big here on YouTube. That's an alternative. Um, then um, the short is that yeah, how can I say that best? The short version is basically that yeah, I need to sell some to make room for some more. So that's probably what I'm going to do. And I do have a few things I'd really like to get within not too long. But also before getting some of it, I need to ensure I might have the opportunity to either sell some of my makes because I can't also keep all my makes either. I do have a friend who has a birthday party coming up, and I might have something that would fit her really, really well. So I'm actually baiting on taking um, one of my makes, and in the future she might watch this. Not saying what it is, um, but I will promise to you guys to show it. But that's in about a month, the birthday. So I might show that later what I did. But yeah, that's the current thought. Happy to share the link. Happy to share the link. And Queens, if you go to Scraptastic Crochet, she also has a YouTube channel. You can find her email on her bio there, so you can mail her if you want to like agree on something up there and exchange phone numbers, etc., for this event. I think it could be cool for you all. Yeah, and then there's a Black Friday sale, of course, also at Hobby. And Amanda says she's trying to stash some money away for it. So that's the thing. There's a Black Friday sale on a few places where I'm like, I do still have a few money. I do have some cash left. So I might end up seeing if I can catch some of those. And I do have a few ideas to what I want to do. And that does require a bit of money as well, I guess. So there's a few things that financially needs to fit and make sense. And then, yes, there will be a few more yarn orders, I guess. But there's also some yarns that I have in my stash where I'm like, I'm probably not going to use it, so it makes sense to actually sell it. Some of the yarns I've gotten as bonus yarns in other deals. Um, and some of the yarns I thought I had ideas for making, and then now when I'm sitting with it, I'm like, I'm not so sure I'm actually having ideas right now. And a part of me would say, yeah, I could give it away and host a giveaway, but that also comes with the cost of shipping, etc., etc. And the views on the giveaway video, like what I would earn on ad revenue from YouTube, would far from cover the shipping, at least right now. So it would make more sense to first see if I can sell it before considering giving it away. But I do plan on hosting a new giveaway video eventually. Um, my goal is to hit the 2,000 subscribers, and then I will do a giveaway, unless my Jubilee would come up before then. Then we will do that then, but that's like next spring. So hopefully we get a good reason for having a little party before then. So Queen says she loves the jade. Candy cakes were interesting, but I should have bought a different colorway. Yeah, that's always the feeling. Rita's not ordering yarn. She just moved and have lots of yarns. And that's also another reason I'm trying not to buy too much yarn, because I do actually have a lot and I really need to kind of stash out a bit. Yes, I do, but not gotten there yet. I am right now working on a Halloween cake, where I started the Ultimate Sacrifice shawl. Um, but it's not within arm's reach right now. And I do have a few things I need to do first, so I'm not sure if I'll work on it more before this weekend. So Queen says she's selling some of her stash on Tradera to fund the future. Tradera, is that like a Swedish app for it? I think um, I think that's probably the cost wise for such sending from here to Sweden might be too expensive. Like um, they measure it in package size and volume plus weight. And when it's exceeding a specific size, then you need to pay much more, basically. But within the Netherlands, the limit for the volume for the lowest package is actually quite large, and you can send quite a bit for quite cheap. So I'm probably just trying to sell it on the Dutch market first, because that makes most sense. I could also make like a random lucky bag on Etsy and see if it would sell that way. Oh goodness. So Queen's realized she was allergic to mohair last year and spent some money on that last year. Now she needs to get it back. Ah, eBay-ish. Yeah. Tradera. That's probably like similar to our marketplace, indeed, eBay, etc. Yeah, that's a good idea. Good luck on that. That sucks when you realize that you're allergic to yarns that you really wish you weren't. Luckily, I don't have any allergies related to yarns and animal fibers. I'm that blessed. Though I am allergic to wasps. Like if I would get stung by a wasp, please call 911. 112, depending on where you're in the world. That would put me in a shock state, like anaphylactic shock thing. So I don't do wasps very well, which is not fun in the summer and the autumn when they start getting more aggressive because they are getting closer to dying and they like sweet drinks and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm not cool with wasps. I'm usually calm around them as long as they kind of stay away from me. Um, and then too spicy food is not good for my stomach, and that's about it. I don't have any other allergies of what I know. And yeah, Amanda is allergic to animal fibers as well, so she gave them away all. Yes, so I make real finds on Facebook actually. I sometimes get some really, really cheap yarns on Facebook, and that's where I make those deals. I'm like, yeah, I have to get them. Sometimes you can get hobby yarns on the Dutch marketplace for cheap. Like I can't buy the same yarns cheaper on hobby when they're on sale. Of course, it depends on how much, because sometimes if it's just like 2 cakes and then plus shipping, then it's the same as if I would get them on hobby and then I'm not getting them. But if it's something where I can like calculate that even with shipping and the prices of these yarns, and they are yarns that I want, are cheaper than if they are on sale on hobby, I sometimes get them. Actually, I do, because it's worth it. Like I once picked up more than 15, probably, or even more, rolls of solid twisters, and I paid a little bit more than €5, like €5.50, including shipping per ball. And now when they're on sale, if you're lucky, you get them for $6, and that's a good sale. So I picked them up. Just to mention how that could be. A lady the other day was selling some reasonably cheap salt cents, which I was debating on getting, but I was like, no, 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 no. You have enough right now, and the colors are not enticing enough for you to actually get them. So I kind of skipped the deal. So Facebook Marketplace, believe it or not, we have some groups in the Netherlands that's basically called such as simple as a skein too much, translated into Dutch, of course, or a ball of yarn too much, or something like that, or um, looking for specifics from specific store brands, etc. So there's a few marketplaces, and they actually, you have people selling their excess stash there or cleaning out, and that's basically what I'm intending to do with some of the yarns I have. I have some acrylic yarns that I'm going to throw in there, and I do have a few acrylic wool blends, and I have a single that's I think 100% wool, and that's just because when I'm sitting with the yarn, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to make with this, and I don't imagine what to make of this, and if it's not strong enough, this will to make something from this particular yarn, I can better sell it. So that is why it is going to end up on the marketplace. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to offer them as different lots, and say if they're willing to buy it all, I might be willing to cover the shipping or a part of the shipping or something like that, to make some sort of extra deal, like get extra discount if you buy it all, because then I can just go once to the post office basically. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, because that would be a bit of a bigger bag. And it cleans out some space. Right now, some of these yarns, they are in our bag. And that is what I'm going to do later today, actually. I'm going to take photos of these, and I'm going to see if I can get that put up on the marketplace to see how they want and if they are willing to. Yeah, that's the idea. So actually, I've been here for like 2 hours and 20 minutes? And I definitely did not finish my headband because we failed on that, which utterly sucks. Utterly sucks. But I clearly did not make the right calculations for it. I am quite jealous seeing what you're doing in Sweden. Seems so nice. It's cool. It's cool. Anyhow, I think what I'm gonna be doing now is basically round off this live because I am actually slowly getting hungry. So I should really get some food. My stomach has been telling me I need food for a bit. I'm going to look at how much further I can do on the hat. And I do need to take photos and throw some yarns on the marketplace, because if we make those sales, we can buy new yarn. And as I said, I do have a few other sales that I really want to crash. So I'm trying not to spend too much on yarn these days. At least not more than needed, required, whatever you want to say. Yeah, same. I like to try new yarns, and sometimes then I realize I don't like them anyways. So I do have some of the yarns, it's like, okay, or I got them as a bonus, like some of the yarns I got in a lucky bag, and I'm like thinking, no, I don't know what to make from these. They're going to move on. That simple, basically. If I don't like them enough, bye. Yay for kicking up leftover yarn. Woohoo! What yarn was that? That's basically what I did with the blue yarn and realized I didn't have enough. And I do like to actually, I've found that I do enjoy caking up some yarns before I start working with them, depending on what the project is, because that's just easier than them bunting around. Because every time I try to do the center pulls, unless it's one of those like hobby cotton yarns where you have like these center pull, I always end up with yarn bath, like always. Cookie yarns. I have a cookie upstairs. Well, it's actually Hubby's tea time, which we are quite sure, both of you and I, that it's cookie yarn. I want to do something in that also, but I have a few other things I want to do first. Ah, yeah, you made scarves while walking. That was the ones that was like the flowery curly ones, right? Sewing in ends. Awesome. So actually it was useful for you to have me hanging around with you here to sew in ends. Using scrap yarns in itself is also an obsession of mine. I wanted to use this and I wanted to make, obviously, a headband, but I failed. Um, Maybe I'll combine it with something else, but I know right now that what I had thought is not going to work out. I think first I'm going to make a row, and then I'm going to try to do the front loop, back loop, double crochets, and see how that will work up. And if that works up nicely, I'll finish that. And if it doesn't, I will put it back into my stash of excess yarn to figure out what to do with it eventually. Then it's just going to be a pending project. I might be able to combine it with another scrap color for something nice, though. Amanda finished 3 whips with ends sewn. Awesome! Oh, I'm proud of you, girl. You're almost like having no whips left. Well, that's a lie because I know you have many. Um, and me, I'm getting more whips. But I knew that was likely happening with me going from being employed to being unemployed, having more time to do random things, right? It was kinda predictable to some extent. And the event that we're heading to, which I am going to build up some tonight, we're going to be there. There's basically a competition where I will be, and I'll be there basically every evening, and full Saturday. And if I don't have anything to do there, I will probably be crocheting there. No whips joke of the day. Yes, no whips definitely joke of the day. Yeah, I'm trying also to weave in ends when they are to some extent. I have to say right now I haven't woven in the end here of the center start, but that's because the project isn't finished yet, and if I weave it in now and I realize, so that's the thing. If I need to frog something and I'm not 100% sure it's okay, don't weave in ends until you know it's good. Like you don't need to frog it. Because trust me, weaving in ends as you go, and you then need to frog a region where you weaved in ends, is a seriously pain in the rear. That I've tried a few times and I've literally failed doing that. Failed. Like, because I weave in my ends so amazingly well that I can't untangle them when I'm trying to unravel something with woven in ends. So I try to only weave ends on the go if I know that I will not have to frog. That's learning by experience. Um, so for example, if I know I don't have to frog and I use something that takes different colors from different yarn balls, then what I do is I finish one color and then I add the new. And then when I know for certain I don't need to frog that far back where the color change happened, then I can sew in the end. So I need to be 100% sure I don't need to frog it before I weave in those ends, because if I have to frog it, it is pain. I have to say with this particular yarn, which is similar to the Metallico, actually, in fact, I'm sure it is Metallico, just on a ball and not on a donut shaped and branded differently. It is really a pain to frog, and therefore I don't actually plan on having or needing to frog it, but that's another story. Amanda says when she uses yarn cakes and no, she will only have a start end and an end. She sews both in instantly. Yeah. I do that sometimes too. But I usually still have a few rows done where I can see, okay, this is actually going as planned. Um, like for example, if I'll do another Varus shawl, then when I've done the first 8 or 9 rows, I'll sew in the end, and I still have I don't know how many rows to go before complete, but then I'm pretty sure it's like started and we are pretty solid and it's going and so on. As an example. Queen's Curl says she has VIPs dating back to 1972 with no weaved ends. Holy smokes! In 1972, I wasn't even born. My partner is from 1972, though. When Amanda does makes when she cut the yarn off and she will weave in the ends a little as she goes. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean, I guess, by doing a few rounds extra and then you can weave in past prior rounds. Yep, that's probably the case. We are young ladies. We are young ladies. Hallelujah. That's important too. Life experiences are good as well. Ah, okay. Yeah, they have been there for years. I totally misunderstood. It could have been that they had been there since the last 50 plus years. um, but I have a project that I started on 2 years ago that is probably just laying somewhere and nothing is gonna happen with it ever. I didn't go much for it, so that's okay. Um, yeah, I'm not Gen X. Am I Gen X? Oh, I think I'm a boomer, maybe. Maybe I'm a Gen X. I don't know. A millennial. I'm a millennial. No, I'm born in 85, if that helps. So, depending on when on the year, there's about 14 years difference between you and I, Queens. Um, there's 12 and a half years between me and my partner. But we feel good and young together and enjoy ourselves, and that's the most important part. And that is what I actually really like about this crochet community. We all can band and find unite over such things as simple as a crochet hook and some yarn, or knitting needles for that. And yes, millennial. Yeah, I thought so. I'm millennial. I was a teenager during the millennial years. I remember everybody thought that the PCs and everything was going to crash when it turned year 2000, but nothing crashed. Everything just went on as normal. Crazy how things fly and time flies. Back in the days, my first cell phone was an Ericsson with an antenna, and it was like a brick feeling format. And yeah, time goes on. Actually, I'm just gone to a place where I'm not doing anything right now. I'm just chit chatting, and I should probably slowly close down our live because it's time for it. Ageless and global. Yes, it is ageless and global. And that's why I really enjoy YouTube. We can hang out so easily together, um, doing stuff together, talking about yarns, getting ideas, more importantly. Um, there are people that's inspiring me to do things, and I know I inspire other people to do projects as well. Um, and that is what I really personally enjoy to do, is to help inspire people. I also like to get inspired, but I also like to inspire people to do projects and makes, and help, obviously, help people in learning stuff. And I'm going to do a bunch of stitch tutorials coming up soon, coming up soon. Sometimes this month. I need to record them still, so I haven't started. I have some reviews I need to make from crochet hooks. I have some yarns I need to compare. I do have some yarns where I think they are similar or the same. And I probably should actually make some yarn like workups. So, like, this is how they would look if we do it like this. So I do have a few plans and things to do that I really want to do. My mosaic blanket is, well, it's over here. And that is a long project as well. If you give me a moment, I'm going to see if I can grab the crates. Because this table is really long. I am at round, I do believe it's 48 still. And I think I might actually work on this tonight. Or later today, this afternoon, maybe. Depending on how things go. What I reached since last time is I reached to cake up the 2 cakes that I'm going to use. So this is front color, the color that goes through all the way, which is a cream. The Stylecraft Special DK yarns. This is the claret, which is the brighter red that I'm going to add to it. And this is where we are at. So I still need to actually cut the burgundy red to make room for the brighter red. So we are changing from this to this. And this is insane. This was a full cake, and I caked them up so I can put them on these for easier, basically easier crocheting. But I'll show you. It's still at round 48. But here we are. Fleur. Can barely have it in the screen here. Oops, like this. But I should have more time to work on that as well. Because this has been like 10 months in the making, or 9 months in the making. It's really enjoyable. Queens, this blanket, what I'm making here is fleur. It's basically the Dutch word for flower. It's designed by a Dutch designer named Anke Wintermans, and she has a pattern on Ravelry. I can just quickly find it and share the pattern here in the chat for those that's curious. Give me one moment. Because I actually do have, I should have it in the library somewhere here. And you can also use other yarns with it. This is just, she's designed it in the Stylecraft Special DK. And there is a store in the Netherlands that actually sells the bundles with the correct yarns. And what I'm surprised about is that with the burgundy, that's just exactly 1 ball. And it's like there's so little left and it's perfect. But she really makes some really, really nice designs. She has a few other nice designs that I might actually be tempted on doing after this. But there is the pattern that I'm working on. So my next step with that is basically to cut the burgundy and add the claret and do the next round in that. I hope I will be able to make 1 or 2 rounds before Friday. I should have time to do that. Which means that right now, my because I've been working on a few other new projects, my Thoughts of Island shawl has been a little bit put on the back burner because the others has just tempted me more. It's very gorgeous. Fleur is really gorgeous. So I just thought I'll share it. She makes some really, really, really amazing patterns. There's definitely more patterns that I want to make first onwards. But I think on the case and mosaic blankets, I'm definitely gonna finish one and then find out what's next before doing it. Also because you can only have room for so many blankets in your home, right? That's pretty much it. We're still a few people hang out here. I'm really happy that you do hang out with me. Let's see. I should have Nightbot laying somewhere here. Bit curious to see who's the top chatter of the day. Amanda is our top chatter of today, so I will need to update that for the next live. Woohoo! Awesome! Amanda has been chatty. She has. That said, Queens, you are trying to catch up on her, but Amanda is winning the top chatter contest. Amanda, you and I, we still need to have a chat on a few other things, like streaming stuff. But I get that you're busy today with the painters. So. Yes, we do. Let me know when you have time. You know where to catch me. We'll have a good chat. But yeah, so this works very nicely, I'd say. I just need to find out how panels could be done, but it's definitely possible as well. It works pretty simple once you have it through. And the best part about this streaming service is that it is open source, which basically means it's free. Well, that's good for anyone on budget. Yeah, so I kind of like that, and it does come with regular updates and stuff like that. Anyhow, what I'm gonna do now is I am going to leave you here after roughly 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's maybe a bit closer to 2 hours and 40. But I am going to get myself some lunch. I'm going to get some photos taken before the day has passed by. I do have a few things I need to do because life goes on also outside of YouTube, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, it's a good thing. But it was really cool hanging out with you guys. I really appreciated that you took the time to hang out with me. If you're rewatching this live and you made it all the way to this point, thank you for rewatching it. It is truly supporting me. Don't forget to hit those thummies because that is also supporting me as well. And then basically, I'm going to say to everyone, stay healthy, have a great day, happy crafting. I hope to see you guys in my next live if you're able to make it. And I hope that I could keep you company while you were either sorting your yarn or working on some of your projects. So, yeah. And I'm looking forward to hear how that goes in Sweden and Uppsala in 2 weeks' time if you actually all three manage to get together. That would be really, really cool and awesome if you do.